The sea breeze carried a chilling truth that night, cutting right through the warm lie of my honeymoon. 3 days after marrying Vance on my father's luxury yacht, I found myself paralyzed by a sudden, overwhelming dizziness that kept me trapped in bed. Every evening, my husband lovingly handed me 2 white pills, assuring me they would ease the motion sickness, while his parents lavished me with fake sympathy. I genuinely believed I had married into a warm, protective family, completely unaware that every soft word was part of a cold, calculated performance. Driven by a desperate need to check the live camera feed of my sick mother's hospital room, I forced my heavy body out of bed to retrieve my forgotten phone from the deck. Clinging to the stair railing with trembling hands, I collapsed against the second-level landing, completely out of breath. Right then, voices drifted up through the ocean air, shattering my reality in an instant. My father-in-law asked how the dosage was holding up, and Vance casually replied that 2 pills a night plus extra in my dinner soup would keep me completely unconscious by midnight. Listening from the dark stairs, a cold sweat soaked straight through my clothes as Vance outlined his plan to push me overboard during a midnight squall. His mother chuckled, mocking my devotion to them and admitting that pretending to care for me made her physically sick. They discussed forging my signature to drain my $300 million trust fund into offshore accounts the moment I was declared missing at sea. To make matters worse, Vance casually mentioned that his hitmen were already waiting in Colorado to stage a fatal car crash for my parents next week. A sharp wave of nausea hit me, but I bit down hard on my tongue, using the physical pain to anchor my slipping consciousness. I forced myself to inch back up the staircase, every single step feeling like walking on shattered glass. Back in the suite, I retrieved a hidden burner phone from the bottom of my closet and crept out onto the private balcony. Lying flat against the cold floor directly above them, I pressed record, capturing their entire conversation as they callously plotted my murder over glasses of celebratory champagne. Once they stepped away, I searched the nightstand and unlocked Vance's backup phone, instantly uncovering a sea of graphic messages with another woman named Riley. Scrolling deeper into his emails, I found detailed plans to execute the asset transfers alongside forged legal documents transferring my entire inheritance. I snapped photos of everything with my burner device and set up a timed email blast to my father's corporate attorneys and the authorities, programmed to send automatically if I did not manually override it within 24 hours. At 6 that evening, Vance entered the suite wearing a mask of gentle concern and carrying a bowl of seafood soup. He lovingly spooned the broth toward my mouth, but beneath the rich aroma, I caught the bitter chemical smell of the sedatives. I faked weakness, swallowed a mouthful, and carefully spat it into a tissue the second his back was turned. After he left the room, satisfied that his trap was set, I immediately forced myself to throw up. Flushing every trace of the drug out of my system, later that night, a low knocking sounded at my door, revealing a newly hired crew member named Morgan standing outside with ginger slices and caffeine pills. She quickly explained that she was an undercover investigator whose own sister had tragically vanished at sea years ago after marrying Vance's cousin. Morgan revealed that the entire Vance family had spent decades targeting wealthy heirs for their fortunes, leaving a trail of suspicious deaths in their wake. Realizing we had less than 2 hours before my scheduled murder, we immediately began preparing our escape, packing my most vital heirlooms into a waterproof bag. I slipped on dark clothing and followed Morgan through the silent, darkened corridors toward the lower aft deck. We reached the small Zodiac boat hanging from the davits, moving as fast as we could to loosen the heavy securing ropes. Just as we prepared to lower the inflatable craft into the black water, Vance's younger brother spotted us from the upper deck and raised a frantic alarm. Knowing our time had run out, we shoved the boat over the edge, cut the mooring lines, and leaped into the dark ocean below. The outboard engine roared to life just as the entire Vance family rushed the railing, screaming orders for the crew to stop us. Looking back through the freezing spray, I saw them scrambling toward their high-powered speedboats, determined to silence us before we could ever reach the shore. But as the small boat surged forward into the vast, open sea, I gripped my recorded evidence tightly, knowing that no matter how hard they chased, the truth was finally out of their hands.